Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire. Nashtapraye subhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevayam. Bhagavater uttama shlokir bhaktir bhavati naistigim. Yasyambha suryamanayam krishner parama purusher. Bhaktir utpadate pumsa shokamoha vayapaham. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can I have my weapon, Prabhu? I forget to take my weapon. The weapon of the Brahmanas are the books. And
You can say kavach, Prabhu. We'll phrase it as kavach instead of weapon.
Weapons are good. It's weapon.
stand.
Kavach is defensive.
Sorry, once I start and do the invocation prayer, I cannot stand. This is my havan time. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Since this is a weekday or a week of Lord Ramchandra, however, we don't have to divert too much from the topic because I thought I will highlight an important lesson that Lord Ram, you can't hear?
It's better with mine.
Yeah, okay. So you're right. Hare Krishna. So once Lord Ram was talking about a family life, explaining a reality of the world. He gave example of the time. He said the time factor is very powerful. What we are talking about here, we are talking about the time factor, but giving an allegorical example of a what? To discuss about the teaching that is taught by Jadbharat Maharaj Rahugar. The example is given of what here? What is the title of this chapter?
Forest.
The forest of material entanglement. So he explains the entire reality of the material world with a forest. Okay, he says this is a forest, it's a dense forest. So Lord Ramchandra, he gives similar example of it. He said that Kal, or is a time factor, that is entangling everyone down. It's a time. It's the time brings everyone together and time separates everyone. It's one factor. It's only time. Sometimes he gives an example, just as the clay is used as the object of making a clay pot, cooler. You use a clay to make a cooler, and you take another clay object in order to break the cooler also. You know what is cooler? In India, you see cooler is a mudden bowl or a cup that you make out of mud, the clay. Basically, you go through a special rounder that you make out of the clay. And what do you break the cooler with?
Stone.
In particularly, here is like a brick, ita. So what is the brick made out of? Clay. So one clay is breaking another clay. So in other words, time factor, sometimes time factor can be the cause of creation, and sometimes that same time factor work as a destruction also. So he gives an example of, particularly of a rainy season. I have given this example before. What is the quality of a rainy season? When there is lot of rain falling all over the mountain, the rain causes the flood. Okay, so there is flood falling from the mountain, there is flood falling from bottom. So everything is swept away by the rain from wherever they are, and they are finally taken to the larger body of water that is called the ocean. So ocean is a material existence. We don't know which wood came from what angle, but everything gets taken to the final destination, which is ocean. So what you see in ocean, wood are scattered out there or they are in one place? No, finally brought to one place. It's like, wherever there is no wave, like it gets to one corner and it gets kept in the corner. Yes? So it gets kept in the corner. Now, it remains in that corner for a long time. You know how long? Up to the next rainy season. So again the rain comes. So by the force of the rain, every woods are again being heated and they get separated again. What factor brought it together? The rain. And what separates them? The rain. So Lord Ramchandra says this is the time factor. That sometimes time factor works to bring everything together, and sometimes the time factor separates everything. And what do we understand of the time? Who is time? When Krishna is in Bhagavad Gita speaking to Arjuna, he is in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, middle of the battle, the middle of the essence that he is talking about. Finally he sees the Virat Sarup. Okay? Beautiful Krishna that has a nice peacock feather in his head, who is all the time smiling, looking in Trivanga Sarup. He sees that same Krishna is having a fire coming out of his ears. There is fire generating from his eyes. There is fire generating from his mouth. Then it is a natural question for Arjuna to ask. What did he say? Who are you? He says, who are you? All this time I am thinking you are my friend. I am been playing around with you. I have never seen something like this. This is like big Rakshas in front of me. So he says, who are you? Then Krishna makes a very simple answer. He says, Kalo Asmi, I am the Kal, I am the time, I am here to destroy everyone now. So in that beautiful Sarup, Krishna is maintaining everyone. The factor that maintains everyone is what? What keeps us together in a family life? A beautiful wife, isn't it? A beautiful children. Just like Prabhupada used to say, one day people used to say, Avai, you are so beautiful. Everyone used to tell me that Avai is handsome. Prabhupada, that is his name. His name was Avai Charan Dev before he became Prabhupada. He said, when I was studying in college, everyone would tell me, Avai, you are so handsome. You are so handsome. He said, my body muscle used to be up here at that time. Now it is hanging down here. It's same Avai, but it is hanging now. So when everything is beautiful, everything is attractive. When that same beauty is dissipated, the family life becomes bad, isn't it? When you become old, the husband is now having all the wrinkle, the cheeks are just dangling down, the wife is no more same beautiful as before, the children are not same disciplined as before, they intend to grow up, they begin to argue with father. So things come out. Then you begin to develop detachment. The detachment comes here. So when everything is beautiful, the attachment comes. And when everything is not beautiful, then detachment comes. The fact that Krishna is so beautiful always, he becomes the object of attachment. Now when Krishna assumed the form of Kal, anyone who wants Krishna and who wants Kal here, but both of them are Krishna. No one wants Krishna in the form of Kal, do we? We don't want a person, Krishna, with picture that his mouth is filled up with a fire, his ears are filled up with a fire, his eyes are filled up with a fire. No one wants that. So when Arjuna saw this, he said, are you that beautiful Krishna, or are you something else? Who are you? Krishna says, at this point I am Kal, the time factor. He says. And he says, what? Okay, you are time factor, why are you here? Then Krishna says, Kalosmido kakshaya kripavrito. I'm here to destroy everything now. And who are you going to destroy? He asked, who are you going to destroy? He said, Rib te pitvam na bhavishanti ari, the enemies except for you 5 brothers. He said, Tvam means you 5 brothers, I'm not here to destroy you. But everyone apart from you 5 brothers will be destroyed today. Therefore, right after that he says, Nimitra mantin bhavasabhya sache. I am that time factor, I am anyway going to destroy it. That's my mission now. Now, if you want to take a credit of carrying out this mission, Nimitra Madhyam, you become the instrument in my hand. Do it. Nimitra means instrument. Nimitra Madhyam, you just become a Nimitra. Bhava Sabhya Sachin. He said, Bhava, you become a Sabhya Sachin. You know what that Sabhya Sachin means? Sabhya Sachin is? That's him, but why does Krishna give this name in particular timing here? The timing of a fight, okay, it's a battle episode here, and he's saying, I'm going to destroy everyone. So again the fight comes in there. Then at this point he addresses Arjuna as Sabhya Sachin. He could have said Arjun, or he could have said Dhananjaya. Many times he would address something else. But right now he is doing a namkaran for him. He says Sabhya Sachin. Sabhya Sachin means one who is expert in shooting the arrows. That's what the definition of Sabhya Sachin. He said, you are already expert in shooting arrows. You are already expert in killing people. And my mission is what? What is my mission?
Annihilate.
To annihilate. At this point, my mission is to annihilate. So, my mission is to annihilate. You are very good at it. So, Krishna is choosing the right candidate for right thing here. He said, do you want to take a credit or not? If not, anyway it will be done. I don't have to do anything to destroy anyone. So Krishna says, I will do it. So Arjun, when he says Nimitra Madhyam Bhava Sachin, then Krishna, Arjun asked him, which people do you want me to destroy? Who are the people that you particularly want me to destroy? Then Krishna says, Dhradam cha bhishmam cha jayadhatam cha karna tathanya apiyoda viran maya hatastam jayma vetishta yujjasya jetashi rade sampatnam. He says, Drona, Dronam cha Bhishmam cha, Drona will be destroyed, Bhishma will be destroyed, Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadhratam cha, Karna, Tatha, Karna and others, Apiyoda Viran, other Viryas, the powerful people, they will be Tathayoda Viran. Maya Jaimam. He says, I will do this. He said, Yuddhasya jetashi rane sampatnam. You want to win this battle and take the glories? It will be done now. Yuddhasya jetan, jitan, Yuddhasya jitan, rane. What does rane means? Yeah, he said, you want to win over them and just rule the earthly kingdom? Is that what you want? He said, I want you to do that. So, how did I brought this topic? Somebody has to take me back. Kal factor, okay. So the Kal factor is, so you are attentive, I knew what I was going to say. So, Kal factor, Krishna said, this is the time factor. And Lord Ram talks of the Kal factor in the same way. That the time factors brings everyone together and time factors separates everyone. And what is Jad Bharat talking about here? The time factor. What he says is, time factor is such, when living entity becomes dissatisfied by the process of devotional service, when he becomes dissatisfied. Normally, Krishna has three types of energies. Okay? These three energies are called the external energy of Krishna, the internal energy of Krishna, and the marginal energy of Krishna. So what does external means?
Bahiranga Shakti.
Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsarya, these are external, something that you can perceive in somebody. Or, what is created by external energy is this material body. The body is an outcome of Krishna's external energy. Something that you can perceive. Okay? The internal energy is what? The soul. Soul is part of the internal energy of the Supreme Lord. Something that is not easily perceived and something that is not easily understood. Everyone understands the need of the body, yes? So some have nice kurta, like Ram Prabhu, he has a nice kurta. Some have nice t-shirts, some has nice pants, some nice dhotis. Why? Understanding the need of the body. Or everyone is good at decorating the body. Everyone understands the external energy. Everyone understands how to satisfy the external energy, yes? So, what nice prasadam we like, everyone knows. Yes? So external need, everyone knows. How many people know the internal need? Many people know how to clean the cage, but not everyone knows how to feed the bird. Do we? We don't know the diet of the birds. We know the diet of the cage. So diet of the cage is just take some soap and take some napkin and just wipe it, everything is fine. It's very simple. Isn't it? The need of the body is very simple. Nice blue kurta, nice dhoti, nice white kurta. We all know the need. Now what is the need of the soul? So therefore the soul is different. So Krishna says the body is part of Krishna's external energy, which is a material creation. And the soul is part of Krishna's internal energy, but marginal potency. That same living entity is given a marginal, meaning a choice. Just like we are also known as Tathastha Shakti. Sorry, the living entity is the marginal potency, not the internal. The liberated soul are internal potency. The living entities like us, marginal, and when we become liberated, there we become the internal. So in the marginal stage, it is just like somebody takes you to the ocean, you are at the bank of the river, there you have a chance to make a decision. Do you want to swim or do you not want to swim? If you want to swim, you are not too far away from water, isn't it? You are right at the bank. Your legs are already in the water. So it's a question of just taking a one dive. Yes? And if you don't want to swim, it's a question of taking one step back. So every living entity are in that position. It's a question of confusion stage. Do you want to attain Krishna or you want to try out the Maya? But everyone is in the bank. If we choose, at some point, if we choose, no, that material world is bad. I don't want to get there. I don't want to experience that. I just want to be with Krishna. From there, it becomes very easy. But now, according to this, the living entity is being dissatisfied of serving Krishna, chooses to enter into the forest. Just like a businessman being dissatisfied with the current business he has. What is his current business? He has some other business. What is the current business of living entity? What is the constitutional position of us? What is the eternal position that we have? What is that position? Servant of Krishna. So this is the eternal position. Okay. So that is our business. We already have a business. Our business is what? To serve Krishna. But being dissatisfied by this business, we are not satisfied by it. So we want to try out the resources of natural nature. Krishna is creating so many things. Just like a child wants to play with many different types of toys. So Krishna has created a toys and we get attracted by that toys which is understood at this material world. Just like a businessman being dissatisfied, he enters into the forest to have another business. Okay. So as we have discussed, when we come to this material world, we get associated with one of the three modes. Yes. Which are called the? What are the three modes? Sattva, Raja and Tama. What happens to somebody that is in mode of goodness? Some Matajis are more attentive in these classes, so you should give me the answer sometime. So what is the outcome of a person who is in mode of goodness? What does he wants to do naturally? What type of environment he wants to be in? Around Krishna and the devotees. What type of food he wants to take? What type of food? Krishna Prasadam. So naturally this goodness is going to develop some things. And mode of Rajagun is naturally sports, only games, just being around big group that is in India they call hoo-ha group. The group of a hoo-ha. So just looking for that type of a group. And looking for something that is tasteful to the tongue. What taste? Good. So it becomes subservient of the senses. And in mode of ignorance, he looks for something that damages his senses, that damages his existence. So in this way, one associates with these three types of modes. Yes, and he totally gets drowned by it. Just like if you become haunted by the ghost, what happens? You know what does haunting means? Like sometimes we have heard of this term. What does the Shastra say about the ghost and being haunted by the ghost? The scriptures explain that the ghost is a living entity without a body. That is called the gross body and the subtle body. Okay? So gross body is this. And the subtle body is what? The mind, intelligent, false ego is a subtle body. Okay? So if you want to acquire something, what do you need? The desire is there with mind, intelligent, false ego, the desire is there. But as long as there is no support of the physical body, the desire is not accomplished. So you need an instrument to accomplish what you desire. So this body, material body, in the form of the five senses, is the instrument for the subtle body to acquire what he wants. Okay? So according to the scripture, ghostly body means that any living entities without a body. Okay? And it explains that sometimes we see a dream. Yes? So sometime in a dream, you are in a bedroom, sleeping somewhere with your address, whatever your address is, and you intend to reach to downtown Phoenix. How did you end up in downtown Phoenix if you are sleeping in your house? According to the scriptures, it's a subtle body that travels. The body made out of a mind, intelligent, and false ego goes out of the body for that particular period of time and travels around. Like we realized that in Gurukul once what happened was, there was one boy that was sleeping. So he was sleeping, he was supposed to get up at 3:30 and he did not get up. So he was just sleeping. So, as a part of the young group, we thought, let us take him by the mat. So we just took the mat from the fourth direction, we took him under the shower and turned on the water. So he freaked out. But by the time he got out of that water, like he was not what he was before. It's like he began to act something very weird. He began to talk weird and he began to act weird. So ultimately, from what we are understanding, then we brought, the teacher came. Of course, we got very badly punished for that. So he punished us. So then he explained the logic behind it, which sound very practical. He says normally when you see a dream, okay, it takes a time for that subtle body to come back. Therefore, you don't passionately wake anybody up. Just like very smoothly wake somebody up. And even if they are in a dreaming condition, let this body come back and enter into. That's how the scriptures explain. The body, the subtle body, comes back to the gross body again, but it becomes very quick. Then the mind, intelligent, and false ego that was supposed to be in this body did not get a chance to come back. So ultimately, he becomes something else. So then we went through. There was a big process we went through. It's like going to Govardhan. Then this Baba was brought back. Then Baba said, well, his mind, his body of a mind, intelligent, and false ego has not come back yet. So therefore, because his talk was not normal talk that he did, like his voice was not even him anymore. We know how he talks. We know how his voice is. It was not him anymore. So he went through all this process and everything else. It took 1 week for him to come back. Okay, so how you understand that scientifically? I'm not talking the scientific part. I'm just talking a practical part that we saw on it. So, according to the scriptures, they explain that in a dreaming condition, if you dream too much, okay, and it says that in Samhitas it is explained, if you dream about Krishna, the living entities around you, they don't have a power to come around that body. But if you dream in a mode of Rajagun and Tamagun, if you dream it based on Rajagun and Tamagun, then there is a chance that other living entities enter into the body. Then they occupy the body. And that is called the haunted. That's somebody occupying that particular body. Because that particular subtle body did not have a form to enjoy. So they are always looking for an opportunity to enter into the body which has the form and to enjoy through it. So as far as haunting, everyone accepts. But where the scriptures explain it this way. So, now, going back to the point of who? What are we talking about?
In fact,
Sorry?
time.
Is it a time or something else? So we are talking the story of Ram, now going back to Jadbharat. So in that forest of material entanglement, he says in this dreaming condition in Rajakund, the living entity goes into too much of sense gratification. Okay. So being dissatisfied by it, he accepts entering into the forest, which is called the material existence, material life itself. Forest, this is a forest. We are in the forest. We are in one way, Dvipath Pasu of the forest right now. Okay, he's not talking, it's an allegorical story. He says the merchant goes to the forest, accepts this, and as he goes to the forest, first of all, he begins to make a friendship, okay, within the forest. Meaning, he enters into the marriage life. So we enter into the marriage life to develop friendship. So sometimes he has a disagreement with the friends. Because what does marriage life means? Two bodies with two desires with one mission. Our mission is one. But it's two heads with the different ideas. Trying to combine the ideas of two heads, sometimes there is clash. So it's not easy, isn't it? It's just like, sometimes we can't even come to an understanding with Krishna, can we? We don't even come to understanding with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How is it possible for us to come in understanding with another living entity? Not possible. If Krishna is to come here and tell us, you know what, in my judgment, I think this is right. Somebody is going to say, Krishna, this is my idea. And give their idea. Which happened at the time of Krishna also. Everyone giving their ideas. So no one wants to accept the idea of others. Is it easy to accept somebody's idea? Yes? Say that you are called to the meeting, but you don't get to speak in that meeting. You say, you know what, me going to the meeting was not good because I didn't get to speak. So everyone needs to offer the ideas. It is very hard for these different ideas to come together. So therefore there is a quarrel. So he makes a friendship into the forest. And now when he does not have a good time or good experience with the first friend, which is called in the form of a wife, the scriptures say he makes the sub-friendship, the side friendship. Just like, sometime when you don't really, having a hard time with your wife, maybe you have a good friend, my wife says this, but I don't agree, we are having a problem because of this. So you always have somebody to talk to. You create a second friendship. Does it happen? So you always have somebody that you talk about your wife, or you have somebody that you talk about your husband also. So when he becomes dissatisfied with the first friendship, then what happens? You accept second friendship. Then according to Srimad Bhagavatam, then the second friend gives you a counseling. And what is that counseling? He said, if you are not able to stay with your friend together for too long, maybe you should tie each other to the tree and just, one face one direction, other face another direction, but have a discussion. So what is this bondage? People given suggestion that maybe you should have a child. Child is nothing but a binding rope, one more rope to the problem. You understand? But people feel that if the child comes to your house, he can give the counseling to you. There is this common thing that a child, ties the parents together. It's not a tie. Still that type of misunderstanding that we maintain even as marriage couple, we will do it. But we say, okay, look, let us not argue. You turn that side, I turn this side, and we just be tied to one tree. The tree is in the form of the children, isn't it? So for the benefit of the children, then we stay together, which is beautiful in a culture. The children bring us together. So in this way, then there is a saying that now everyone have their own desires, isn't it? So the first friend and second friend, both of them together, they begin to rob you. What this robbing means? They steal from you. The children have their demands, isn't it? The wife have the demands. So now you have to begin fulfilling everyone's desire in that time. So any wealth, anything that you have, that. There is a saying, if you have a children, life without a children is healthy pocket, but empty heart. Life without the children is Healthy pocket, empty heart. And life with children are empty heart, sorry, empty pocket and full heart. So that's what happens after that. Everything goes away. So according to Sri Sukadeva Goswami, narrating a story of Jad, Bharat and Raugan, he says in this way,